Hey sis, if you want to listen, come on. Come on around. I don't want you blocking traffic now. I want you right here. Right here. Read that again.
Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people.
Read on.
But thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
So sis, I got a question for you. Yeah, come on around now. Come on. All right, so my question is, in that verse, who is the neighbor? Does the neighbor represent everybody on the face of the earth, or does the neighbor represent a particular people? Read it again. I just want you to hear it again. What's your name again? Sister King. Let's see, Sister King. Read.
Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people.
Read on.
But thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
So who's the neighbor in that verse? Hold on. Let's read up in that verse to see if it's everybody. Read that again.
Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor.
So the first half say, don't hate your brother in your heart, your brother in your heart. Then the second half says to rebuke your neighbor. So to make an inference, the neighbor and the brother are one and the same. Talking about one nation of people going into themselves. Read on.
Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people.
Of whose people?
Of thy people.
Of your people, Sister King. So that is going into your people, not everybody on the face of the earth.
Right.
So everybody on the face of the earth are not neighbors. Right. Because, let's keep reading.
But thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am the Lord.
So you're supposed to love your neighbor as yourself. You see that? Read on.
Ye shall keep my statutes. Thou shalt not let cattle gender with a divert kind.
So, Sister King, about a cow gendering, you want that? The whole note? No, let's go to the whole note. I want you at the car. I want to talk. Okay, let's go up a slight verse. Because Sister King, who are you? Huh? King James Version. Read it again. Read it again.
Leviticus chapter 19, verse 17.
Read out.
Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor.
So the issue that we have in our community is lack of love and mercy toward our brothers and sisters. I asked you, Sister King, before, who was the brother? You made an honest effort and said that it was everybody. But that's what all of our people think. Not knowing that this book actually belongs to you and your people.
Right.
Read.
Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people.
Of your people. Read.
But thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
So you're supposed to love your brother as you love yourself. So can you love your brother if you don't love yourself? No, you cannot. So that's why you must be taught how to love according to the Bible. Actually, let's get that. Let's get what is love according to the Bible. Because a lot of us think that it's hugs and kisses and teddy bears and rainbows. That's not what love is according to God's word. Give me that.
1 John chapter 5 and verse 3. For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments.
Say it again.
She's looking for your mouth.
Okay, so she wants to slow down?
Follow along. Say, go ahead.
Okay. Read that. Read love according to God's word. Read.
1 John chapter 5 and verse 3. For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous.
So the love of God is to keep his commandments, Sister King. Do you hear that, Sister King? Good. So to keep the love of God, you must be keeping his commandments.
Right.
If you yourself aren't keeping his commandments, what are you now showing towards your brother or your sister? Give me that in Proverbs 11 and 12. Give me that real quick. Proverbs 11 and 12. Because as you can hear, Sister King, the Bible must be read precept upon precept or commandment upon commandment. Right now we're going over hatred of our own nation and how do we fix that. So we're going to go into the commandments to show what love is and what we should apply in our community to show that, to kill the hatred. Read that.
Proverbs chapter 11 and verse 12. He that is void of wisdom.
So he that is void of the application of God's law. Read.
despises his neighbor.
You hate your brother. Read.
But a man of understanding holdeth his peace.
So a man that understands God's word will hold his peace with his brother.
Right.
So it comes to show that we as a people don't know the Bible.
Right.
We as a people don't know God. And we as a people don't even know ourselves.
Right.
Read it again.
He that is void of wisdom despiseth his neighbor. But a man of understanding holdeth his peace.
So a man that is void of applying God's law, he hates himself, he hates his people, and he hates his God. So when you're not following God's law, you're in all midst of idolatry. Loving the other nations, hating yourself and yours. Keep reading.
A talebearer revealeth secrets, but he that is of a faithful spirit concealeth the matter.
So even going down to lying, talebearing, a lot of lying goes on in our community. And simple lies. Something as the brothers passing out flyers, the brother will say, I already got one, knowing that he didn't get one. Why tell a lie on that simple matter? Why? What's the reason? Because it shows that you hate yourself, and it shows that you hate your people, and it doggone shows that you hate your very God that created you.
Right.
So that's why God has an issue with us in this community. Read that again in Hosea 4:1. Again, just to show that because there's a lack of love within our community, God has a problem with us. Read it.
Hosea chapter 4 verse 1. Hear the word of the Lord, ye children of Israel, for the Lord hath a controversy with the inhabitants of the land, because there is no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of God in the land.
So there's no truth, no mercy, nor the knowledge of God in the land. Sister, do you agree? Is the knowledge of God in our land, in our neighborhoods? You don't know? So if you don't know, explain to me why is Birmingham number 3 with the murder rate? Why? What about you, brother? Why is Birmingham number 3 with the murder rate in the entire nation? Huh? No answer? Keep reading. You drop Proverbs, Hosea.
Hear the word of the Lord, ye children of Israel, for the Lord hath a controversy with the inhabitants of the land, because there is no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of God in the land.
There's no laws in this land, so there's no truth among us. There's no loyalty among us. Read.
By swearing and lying, and killing and stealing, and committing adultery, they break out, and blood touches blood.
So brother killing brother, cousin killing cousin, because there's no laws in this land. There's no laws of God in this land. Give me that in Romans 13:1. So let's see what happens to the brother that killeth, or that touches blood. Let's see what happens to that sister that gets enraged with another brother's baby mama, messing around with him. Let's see. Read that.
Romans chapter 13 and verse 1. Let every soul be subject unto the higher power, for there is no power but of God.
So this goes into subject and ordinances of the government. Read.
The powers that be are ordained of God.
Read.
Whosoever therefore resisteth the power, resisteth the ordinance of God.
So if you resist the police, you resist the ordinance of God. If you resist any official that's above you in a very belligerent manner, you resist the ordinances of God. And let's see what happens to a man or a woman that does that. Read.
And they that resist shall receive themselves damnation.
Damnation can be your life being taken by a policeman, by putting his knee on your neck, or by shooting you in the head and saying that you was the issue. You grabbed for his gun. These things are set in place to put us into order of God.
Shalom, Israel. This is Bishop Nathaniel. I want you to know that you can view all our Sabbath classes live on IUIC TV. That's right, I said on IUIC TV. Download the app today. Shalom.
Read.
For rulers are not a terror to good works.
So the rulers or the powers that be do not mess with anybody that is following God's law or that is a law-abiding citizen. They don't mess with you. But to those that are breaking the law, read.
But to do evil. Wilt thou then not be afraid of the power? do that which is good, and thou shalt have praise of the same.
So if you are breaking the law, you should be afraid, because the scriptures say damnation can fall upon you. That means your life being taken, you getting sick, your family getting killed instead of you. That's how God rolls, because he has a problem with us in this land because we don't keep his law, statutes, and commandments. Sis, do you hear what we're talking about? Sister in the white, you hear this? How do you feel about what's going on in the community of Birmingham?
Get him to come read, because he don't understand the mission when it comes to fly.
Come here, sister. I want to talk to you. Real quick. What is going on in Birmingham right now? Violence. And what's your name? Desiree. Nice to meet you. Keep on. So, Desiree, what is going on in Birmingham to this day? What's going on?
Most of what I see is violence. We just had the World Games.
So violence, we just had the World Games. What else?
That's all I've been noticing.
So what about the violence? What type of violence have you been seeing in Birmingham? Who?
Gun violence.
Gun violence. So murders and things like that. How do you feel about that?
I'm kind of numb.
You numb? Why? Why are you numb to it?
I grew up in Birmingham all my life, so
Say that again, Desiree.
I grew up in Birmingham all my life, so it's really like not a surprise to hear something like that.
But is that a problem? Because why is it that brothers have to kill each other just to resolve issues? Why do cousins have to kill each other to resolve issues? I wouldn't be, that's nothing to be numb about. That's alarming. That this small little town compared to Atlanta, compared to Chicago, is number 3? That's crazy. Let's see what God say. Read that again. Leviticus 19:17. Read.
Leviticus chapter 19, verse 17.
So Desiree, I want you to see, how do you feel about this law being kept in our community? Read.
Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor.
So we're not supposed to hate our brothers in our heart and mean our mind, and we're supposed to correct our brothers. How do you feel about that?
Everybody don't take criticism.
Everybody don't take it. Why is that? Huh?
I don't know.
Let's see. Read.
And not suffer sin upon him. Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people.
So you're saying that they'll bear a grudge with that person that gives them the corrective criticism, correct? And then they would try to lash out on them. So does that mean that our brothers and sisters are scared to say something? So why don't they say it?
Because of the black
Leviticus 5:1. Because, mind you, everybody goes to the church, right? Everybody in our community goes to the church on Sunday. What has the churches been teaching about love thy neighbor as thyself? What has the churches been doing in the community actively to stop gun violence? Nothing. That's the difference between the men that you see before you. We actually go into the hardest hit hoods to talk to the people face to face. And we rebuke them face to face, like the scriptures say. Give me that Leviticus 5:1. This is what we have to break out of, Desiree. We have to. Read that.
Leviticus chapter 5 and verse 1. And if a soul sin and hear the voice of swearing.
So if a soul breaks God's commandments, read.
And is a witness, whether he has seen or known of it.
So if you knew of a murder or you knew of somebody committing some type of foul behavior and you know about it, read.
If he do not utter it, then he shall bear his iniquity.
So if you don't say anything about this wrongdoing that this person is doing, you would bear their sin. Read.
Or if a soul touch any unclean thing, whether it be a carcass of an unclean beast, or a carcass of an unclean cattle, or the carcass of an unclean creeping thing, and if it be hidden from him, he also shall be unclean and guilty.
So in the church house, don't they be handling pig carcasses, cooking them, all this abominable food they be serving to our people? And we know about it. We know that it's unhealthy, but why don't we say anything? The issue is that because we're afraid to correct somebody else because we feel that they're going to come back on us and correct us what we're in. We got to get out of that mentality. That's why Birmingham is number 3, because nobody is saying anything.
We used to scream black power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission, minor murmuring, omitting and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.